I feel something up in my head, like here and then here and here, then here, and then down here and here, and then it hasn't gone any further than that. Well, this sort of.
You see, if you if you try your own self, you see, trying with the Kundalini, actually sympathetic goes into activity. You have no right on the parasympathetic. Parasympathetic is the one which balances, and that is the central path of Sushumna, through which the Kundalini has to rise. But if you try anything, what you do is always you can use sympathetic. I'll give you an example. Supposing you are running fast, all right? Then you can raise the rate of your heart. But you cannot slow it down. It slows down by itself. That is parasympathetic activity. So you just get into sympathetic activity. And by sympathetic activity, if you overdo it, then all these symptoms happen. And it's not helpful. On the contrary, chakras go into quite, like this is the left and the right sympathetic, and these are the centers. They get pulled down like this. And if they are pulled like this, then you are harmed. So it is not an experience of Kundalini, but is of the sympathetic.
This isn't anything I was looking for or asking for. I didn't even know anything about. I didn't even know what chakras were. But from just sitting still, I would feel these things happen. But I guess they're chakras because they're in the same places. But how come it went down instead of coming up?
No, it doesn't go down. Kundalini never goes down. It goes upward, always. The thing that comes down is the grace, you see. The grace comes down, not the Kundalini. Kundalini always goes upwards. And the grace comes on your sympathetic, which cools you down completely. You become absolutely relaxed with the grace. But the Kundalini itself always goes upward. It never comes down. But in people, it so happens that Kundalini goes through this central path. Now, if it is sort of very much rugged, or if it is extremely smooth due to the mistakes of the seekers, then it falls down. It falls down is a different point than going like that. It falls down. Then you have to raise it again and tie it up. Again raise it and tie it up. In many people it has to be done, but it can work out. You will get the complete knowledge, don't you worry. Now he has been, as he said, 18 months, but he's a master of Kundalini. He can raise your Kundalini, and you are just like him. You will become the same. There's no problem at all.
I'd like to know if having vertebrae in the spine out of place interferes with the rising of the Kundalini.
Does having a vertebrae out of place in the spine interfere with the rising of Kundalini?
It does, to some extent, it does. Definitely it does, but we can put it right. The vertebrae can be put right and the Kundalini can be brought in. It does. So many things do happen. If you are a person over-read, if you have read too many books and the books are in your head, I have to empty that also.
I actually do this work as a profession, and I find that if the subtle center is fixed, the spinal problems just disappear. I used to have 3 and 4 adjustments a week to correct my spine, and now I have none at all. So first fix the subtle within us, and then the gross part, the spinal misalignments and so on, will just get better. Yes. What is the first step to self-realization?
There is nothing like first, second. It's not a course, see. The Kundalini, it's an awakening within us which takes place, which is like a living process, all right? So the Kundalini rises and shoots off here. Now some people feel the Kundalini wobbling down there, down below. Some people feel it in the stomach. Some people feel it here. Some people feel it here. But most of them feel it here only, jutting out like cool breeze. So you just can't say what is the first step. Depends on how it rises. So everybody doesn't feel the same way. So I can't say that this is the first stage. All right? Of course, first you feel thoughtlessly aware. You become thoughtlessly aware. First thing that should happen to you when the Kundalini crosses this center. When it comes out of it, you start feeling the cool breeze here and you start feeling the cool breeze in your hands, and you start feeling the cool breeze around. That's the second stage where it can go. What?
Can anyone be realised without knowing about Kundalini?
Can anyone be realized without knowing about Kundalini?
About mentally, need not know much. It can be realized, of course you can be. But then you have to tell them what it is. This thing is better to do that way. But there will be very few who will accept such a situation because they want to know about everything. But they need not know all that. You can little bit say, tell them that there is a way of getting realization. And then it's like this, that when you come to me, you want to have the lights, I'll say, all right, go. There's a switch you put on. And you put on the switch, you get the lights without telling about it. But you would like to know how this light is done. And then that helps you to create other lights. That's why it is important to know about Kundalini. I can do it without telling you anything about Kundalini. I can raise your Kundalini. But you would not know anything about it. And you would not know what it is. It has happened with many who were born realized. They did not know they were realized souls and they got lost. Like I would say, greatest example, Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci was a realized soul and he got lost because he didn't know he was a realized soul. He was a higher personality than others. He got lost. So many got lost like that.
Excuse me, if your Kundalini was arisen and you were that, how could you be lost? I mean, you have it, so how could you be lost?
How can you be lost if the Kundalini has been awakened?
No, it is. Because, you see, it is, you are not yet fully developed, matured person. When you are in an immature state, it does happen. Kundalini, when it rises, you'll be surprised. In some people, it is just a wee bit, just like a hair, just comes up a little, because it's so difficult, you see. The passage is so blocked. So a little bit comes up. This is what it is. It is a complete realization takes place only when you are Nirvikalpa Samadhi. That's a higher state. So in the beginning, it's just a little wee bit opens up. And 1% people do get lost. They do, because they have egos, they have superegos, all kinds of things. They do get lost. So be careful.
How and where did you receive the power to awaken the Kundalini
Me.
in us and other people?
How
and where did you receive the ability to awaken the Kundalini in them?
I had it, born with it. One can be born with it. But I realized that to give our mass realization, 7th center has to be open, first of all. That I did on the 5th of May, 1970. And then I realized that with this happening, one can achieve our mass realization. But till that time, I had to understand human beings. So, by my subtle methods, I tried to understand what was their problem, what chakras they had, in trouble, how I have to work out the permutations and combinations in such a way that our mass realization can be achieved. So this our mass realization, I started from that day. Before that, I did not speak about it. Because what's the use of another Bible or another Gita? Better to achieve the results. Unless and until human beings realize that there are higher stories of awareness within them, whatever you may tell them, they are not going to understand. So first it must be done. They have to realize that there are higher awareness states which we have to achieve, which we have achieved. And then they can go further. My father himself was a very great evolved soul. And he told me that those who are born on the 10th story shouldn't talk about it. They should come down and try to raise the people at least to the first or second story so they realize there are stories beyond. Because if they just talk about the 10th story, people will think they are crazy or they'll crucify them. They'll never understand. That won't be practical. But it took some time to understand human beings. They are very complicated people. Must say, not easy. What you say?
In your discourse, you referred to the Kundalini as she. Is that because you are a woman?
No, she is. She is the female side. See, she's the Shakti, she's the female side. That's why the quarrel about women and men is all falsehood. There's nothing like that. They exist together. It's like the moon and the moonlight. It's like the sun and the sunlight. It's like the God and the Kundalini. It's like the word and the meaning.
Is it fair to say that the Kundalini energy arises and meets another energy coming from above?
Yeah.
Other two,
It is all-pervading power, all right? Now, when the Kundalini rises, what she does, she enlightens our subtler side of our nerves, our brain and everything. She enlightens. And by that, we start feeling it. It's the enlightenment that we get because of her connection with the all-pervading power. It exists, already it exists. But you cannot feel it normally. When she rises, then your nerves are so enlightened that you can feel it. All right? You might be already getting it. I think so.
He's asking about any dangers with Kundalini meditation.
No, not at all. Not at all. She is your mother. She is your individual mother. Who gives you your second birth? She knows everything about you. She has recorded everything and she does it very gently. See, when you were born, your mother took all the pains upon herself, isn't it? And in the same way, this Kundalini does the job. But people are frightened because perhaps maybe they don't want. It's an evil force, I think, those who are frightened against Kundalini because they don't know how to do it. Or maybe they don't want people to achieve their realization. I can't understand. Those people, as I was telling you today, in the 16th century, Guru Nanaka, then Kabira, and all these others, Ramadasa, Tukarama, all of them, nobody has said it's dangerous. On the contrary, Ramadasa was asked, how much time does it take for Kundalini to rise? He used the word in Sanskrit, Tat Kshana, that's the moment, he said. Tat Kshana, that moment. So, but he said there's a condition. The one who wants should be anxious to have it, and the one who gives should be an authority. Not authority from some university or anything, but authority in spirituality. Yes?
Yes?
In activating the Kundalini within the body, can it only be done in the position that's posted on that sheet there, or can it be done standing or in other positions?
What is it?
कुंडलिनी जागरण के लिए बैठना जरूरी है या खड़े होके या किसी और पोजीशन में भी जागृत हो जाएगी?
No.
You see, it is all right, you can do it. But why do all that? You have to be comfortably sitting in your chair and you'll get your realization. You don't have to go to Himalayas to stand on your head. It's just simple.